Hey everyone, 80 Gaming's here, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the weapons that you should not get from the workshop. Last time I did a video covering the robots that you should not get from the workshop, and some of you asked me to do it also with the weapons. So before I started to tell you which weapons exactly you should stay away from, guys, if you are new to the channel, very important, you should subscribe to the channel and also click the bell icon so you won't miss any future content I'm releasing on this channel. Also smash the like button, it's really important for me at least. So let's start. First of all, the first weapon in my opinion that you should not get from the workshop is the Hornet. It's true that it has the massive, even well leveled, massive firepower. I personally have a maxed out Hornet. I like this weapon, but of course we are talking about the meta, and the best thing also for very important also mostly for newer player, what you should focus, which weapons you should focus. And the Hornet is not a weapon that you should focus on in my opinion. There are much better weapons than the Hornet. The Viper weapon in my opinion is much better than the Hornet. 12-second reload is the main problem in my opinion with this weapon. So you should stay away from the Hornet. The next weapon in my opinion you should stay away from is the Volt. The Volt, you should stay away from the Volt. Not only it's a light weapon, there are much better options. For example, the Gauss is the heavy version of the Volt and it's doing more damage, but in my opinion there are much better weapons than the Volt. It's a sniper weapon usually in this game mostly, and as soon as you get to the Champion League, you see more people that are using brawling type of weapons, and the Volt is not the answer for this category. It's a sniper weapon, it's also a light version. It has a 800 meter range, but like I said, it's not something that I would recommend you to use. But for fun, in regards to fun, it's a fun weapon. Ignores defense system, you can see it, and yeah, in my opinion, but this is really a problematic weapon in my opinion. The next weapon you should avoid from is the Weber and the Gauss. So the same thing like I said about the Volt basically. This is a railgun weapons, but like I said, it's a sniper weapons, and usually as you go up in the league, you should focus on brawling weapons, type of weapons. And there are much better options than the Weber and the Gauss. But do not get me wrong, like I said, they are really fun to use. If you are using, for example, the Gauss and the Volt on the Hawk, you can do really well. It's a fun setup, but like I said, if you would like to be successful, if you would like to get the best of the best, the Volt, the Weber and the Gauss, stay away from them. Next up, the next weapon you should avoid getting I mean is the Avalanche. The Avalanche, yeah, the Avalanche can work really well. It's a medium range heavy rocket launcher, but in my opinion it is not doing enough damage. It's true that it has a fast reload, but there are much better options in my opinion than the Avalanche. Let's say for example the new explosive weapon is not on the workshop, of course. I'm talking about the Incinerator. It is much better than the Avalanche, and like I said, it's really easy to dodge these rockets. There are fast moving targets in this usually on high level Champion League, people that are using fast moving targets, and the Avalanche it's not it. In my opinion, there are much better options than the Avalanche. Next up is the Wholesaler. The Wholesaler, a maxed out Pulsar can pack a lot of damage, but like I said, the reload time is the problem. As soon as you're running empty, the fire rate is really slow, and you should avoid getting weapons that they have a slow fire rate, and it's not doing also enough damage in my opinion. There are much better options than the Pulsar. For example, the Pulsar, it's the same range, it has the same range, it also has a lockdown weapons. It has a lockdown effect in my and the Pulsar doesn't lock down the enemies, and the Pulsar is much better than the Pulsar, like I said. So like do not touch the Pulsar. Same thing about the Marquez. It is much worse than the Pulsar in my opinion. It's a light version of the Pulsar. The same thing like I said about the Pulsar. Do not touch the Marquez in my opinion. Next up is the Ion. The Ion. Do not get the Ion. It's true that it has the zap attack, the zap effect. It's a fun weapon in my opinion, and the sound effect is really cool. But this weapon, it's not strong enough. It is not strong enough. Like I said, the 600 meter range gun also has the lock on. It's really easy to dodge this lock on by using clocking unit and stealth robots. And yeah, this is another reason why you should not touch the ion. And also there is the Pulsar. The Pulsar, it has a manual targeting. Also has a lockdown effect. So the Pulsar is much better than the ion. So you should get the Pulsar instead of the ion. So yeah. The reason why I did not mention the spark, because the spark still if you have it well leveled, the spark, as soon as you get close, the spark is doing a lot of damage, and it's surprisingly a good weapon in my opinion. This is why I did not mention the spark, if you are asking. So next weapon you should not touch is the Halo for sure. This is one of the worst weapons in this game, the Halo for sure. It used to be one of the top weapons in this game. If you are wondering, the Halo, 4 times Halo on the Blitz, it used to be one of the dominating things in this game. But nowadays, and we are starting the new year real soon, the Halo, it became one of the worst weapons in this game. So you do not touch the Halo, because their fire rate is really horrible in my opinion. It's true that it has a lockdown effect, but the Shredder, for example, is much better than the Halo. So if you are aiming for a lockdown weapon, the Shredder instead of the Halo is much better. And it's also a light version, a light weapon. So next one is the Vortex. Yeah, it's just not belong to the meta. Just not belong to the meta, because there are fast moving targets, there are stealth robots, and it's not doing enough damage. Also, there are titans in this game. The Vortex, it's true that it's fun to use. I agree it's fun. For Vortex on the Typhoon, for example, it used to be also the Spectre, but nowadays the Vortex, it doesn't belong to the current meta. So do not go for the Vortex. There are much better weapons than the Vortex. Next one is the Chimera. Wow, wow. I don't think I need to say something about the Chimera. The Chimera virus. Do not touch the Chimera. Chimera is one of the worst weapons in this game. Do not touch the Chimera. Do not even think about getting the Chimera weapon. It is really, really horrible in my opinion. So this is my opinion for you about the Chimera. The Flux, also the Flux. Do not get the Flux. It's true it has. That's good if you have it 4 times on the Behemoth, for example. It can do a lot of damage, but as soon as you run in empty, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. It's like almost the Gecko weapon, the light version of the Flux. So also there is the Prisma weapon. As soon as you are far away from the enemies, you are doing maximum damage. And the Flux doesn't have this condition. Do not get the Flux in my opinion, of course. The Tempest, the same thing about the Tempest. If you like the machine gun weapons, type of weapons, the Tempest is a workshop weapon, and there is the Avenger that you can get for gold. And it's not on the workshop, and the Avenger, believe it or not, the Avenger, if it's well leveled, it's very, very cheap to upgrade, and the Avenger still, it's a good weapon. Not many high level champion league that are using the Avenger, but in my opinion, the Avenger it's still a good weapon. It's much better than the Tempest. So yeah, this is the main reason why I would not recommend you to get the Tempest. Next up is the Corona weapon. Like I told you, like the same thing, almost the same thing like I said about the Halo, copy paste. The same thing. It's as soon as you're running empty, the reload time is really slow, and it's a big problem in my opinion, and it's not doing enough damage in order to compensate the reload time. So in my opinion, the Glory, for example, the Glory is much better. The Glory is still a good weapon, because it's the heavy version of the Corona and the Halo, the Corona weapon, of course. And yeah, if you'd like to get a good lockdown weapon, the Glory is still a good weapon, much better than the Corona weapon and the Halo. I mean. So next up is the Shock Train. Yeah, do not touch the Shock Train. The Shock Train again doesn't belong. It doesn't belong to the current meta. Mostly people, they are running physical shields. Also there is the Aegis shield, there is a Pantheon shield. Any kind of shield almost can block the Shock Train nowadays, and it doesn't have enough damage Also, there is a lock on, and it's another problem thing, because mostly people that are in stealth robots and clocking units all over the place. So yeah, there are so many reasons, and this is only some of the few reasons that you should not touch the shock train. And the main thing that it doesn't do enough damage. In my opinion, the shock train is one of the worst weapons in this game. Also, it's funny to say it, because if you are a veteran player, you know exactly that the shock train used to be one of the OP weapons in this game. So do not touch the shock train. So yeah, we have the Pulsar, the Wasp. They are good weapons, so I'm not talking about them. And the Termite, the same thing what I said about the Vortex. The same thing about the Termite, guys. Do not touch the Termite. And the Exodus. The Exodus, it's not bad like the Orkan that you can get for gold. This is the heavy version of the Orkan. So it's true that it's doing a lot of damage. If you are, it's high burst damage, but in my opinion, the Glacier, for example, is the same category of weapon, and it's not only, it also has a freezing effect. And if you are combining it with microchips, if you know how to use it well, to combine the microchips with the Glacier, you should get the Glacier instead of the Exodus, and you can get more, even you can do more damage than the Exodus. And the reload is really a problematic thing in regards to the Exodus. So yeah, this is in my opinion why you should not get the Exodus. The last weapon that you should not get is the Dragoon. I did a video recently with the Behemoth Dragoon, and you see there the main problem why the Dragoon is not it. It's not a weapon that you should get. High level Champion League, I don't know if there is somebody that's running Dragoon on Champion League, quite frankly. Yeah, it's true that the Dragoon, it used to be one of the top weapons in this game, but today's almost 2022, you should not get the Dragoon, in my opinion. There are much better weapons than the Dragoon. So yeah, this is in my opinion, the list of weapons that you should not get. I will do a conclusion, the weapons that you should not get. So I talked about the Volt, the Weber, and the Gauss. Next, the next weapon, the Avalanche, the Hussar, the Marquez, the Ion, the Halo, the Vortex, the Chimera virus, the Flux, the Tempest, the Corona weapon, Shock Train, the Halo. I mentioned the Halo. I hope I mentioned the Halo. The Shock Train, the Termite, the Exodus, and finally the Dragoon. These are the workshop weapons that you should stay away from, in my opinion. So I know some of you maybe disagree about this list, but this is, in my opinion, the weapons that you should stay away from. It's true that maybe some of you will say, AD Gaming, you should conclude, you should say also something about the Scourges and let's say the Spark. But in my opinion, they are still an effective weapon, so this is why I'm not mentioning them. I mentioned the weapons that you should not even think about getting them. And these are the main weapons that I mentioned them in this video. So let me know what you think about that, guys. If you find it useful and interesting, this guide, if you'd like me to do more of these kind of guides, let me know in the comments down below. It's really important, so I will know that you like this type of content. And do not forget to subscribe, like the video, share this video, smash the like, and join the Discord. Join the Discord is another good way to stay updated, and I'll keep you keep in touch, I mean. And yeah, link in the description below. Also, there is the merchandise. There is a merchandise. I have my store. If you would like to take a look, there are so many cool stuff over there. You should check that out in the link in the description below. And until next time, have a good day / night.